Hello, and welcome to Beast Fables, a role-playing live show where we hang out and tell stories about tiny beasts in a massive forest that may or may not be based on Scotland. I'm Brian, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm the founder of Dungeons on a Dime, a publishing imprint creating entry-level tabletop role-playing game content. A couple announcements before we start. My book, In the Red, which all of my lovely guests today have been illustrators for, comes out tomorrow everywhere. So it should already be in stores in, I think, America and Australia. So you can get it from, say, Barnes & Noble and all the other fancy places that you would get books, as well as some small indie stores as well, cough cough, Exalted Funeral. But also, you can get it from tomorrow from Amazon and, like, Waterstones and bookshops in the UK, just anywhere. You could just walk in and just find my book, and it would be there, and there would be art from everyone here in it. Wouldn't that be neat?
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Oh, it is neat. Because it's real, and it's awesome.
Tangible book thing.
Also, if I may very quickly interject, I'm looking at our stream, and it seems that the graphic is only showing the map area, but not our, stuff. Is that intentional?
Don't worry, that is intentional. Because I wanted to show off other things as well before we go straight to the Roll20, because it's... Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is the interactive map we've got. You could actually see Beast Fables land. It's got all of the places that people are going to that have been mentioned in passing. I'm expanding it when I have the time. There's little descriptions of everything. You can also go onto the World Anvil document and look at all the different guilds there are in the Beast Fables Bristley Woods land. And it's really cool. And it's really pretty. You can see, for example, Holdall, which may contain information about a certain interlude that happened, or not. I'd also like to show off the Vice and Virtue Kickstarter. It is currently over 200% funded, which is really cool.
Wow.
Vice and Virtue is the subsystem that we are using in Beast Fables to help determine where the story goes. You can see how it all works, read the demo rules, and see everything else that's going on if you go to the Kickstarter. At £2,000, I'm able to make actual gold foil decks that will have like gold foil on the cards for the different themes that we use. You know, like sacrifice and desire and other things like that. At £3,000, I'm going to be able to hire guest writers to come in and write some of the fortunes that we use for the show and that you'll be able to use in your home games. We'll also, every 10 backers we get, I give away a free community copy of the rules when everything is finished and written to help give back to the community that has been so good at supporting us. Currently, we're at about 12 community copies at an average of about 120 backers. And also every 100 backers, I give away a full actual deck, print, and book as well in a giveaway that you can be part of. So the more people you tell, the more giveaways there'll be, and the more community copies that'll be unlocked, and the more everyone will have fun.
Hell yeah.
So,
Yay.
that's all my fun little announcements. Back to the main stuff. Today, I am joined by Fraser, Ver, and Atlanta. We are all illustrators, but we're going to introduce ourselves in case you've never met us before. I'm going to go over to the screen. There we go. Look at our cute little faces, our little icon things. I'm going to go back to my regular routine, Ver, to introduce themselves first.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ver. I use they, them pronouns, and I interrupt Brian to tell him that the screen is wrong when it actually is right. And in today's game, I will be playing Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, a boisterous and disarmingly honest toad knight.
Also a best boy.
Yes, certified.
Certified best boy.
Back to you, Brian.
Yes, you are my executive assistant because you tell me if I'm doing things wrong, which 9 times out of 10, it is wrong.
Oh no.
So I savor these moments when I'm actually right. Anyhow.
I'm glad I could very publicly, shame myself and make you look good.
I love it. Speaking of making me look good, today's artwork was by the fantastic Atlanta, who did the gorgeous Wolf chapter art that you saw at the beginning of the stream. Atlanta, could you please introduce your gorgeous self?
Oh, Thank you. Hello, I am Atlanta. I use she/her pronouns, and I am playing Pipistrelle, our rambunctious little, very nosy, very suspicious little bat. But we love her anyway, despite her nonsense.
I think in spite of her nonsense, we love it because of the nonsense.
Oh, well, that makes me happy.
And last, but only because we love him most, it's Fraser.
Oh, hello, I'm Fraser. I go by he, him pronouns, and today I'm playing Lutzen Ten Whiskers, a kind of curious but clueless rat.
Oh, that is a very good, curious but clueless.
Yeah.
Completely clueless.
Very good.
He has no idea what's going on, really.
Also a best boy, though, to be fair.
This is fair. I'll take that. He's pretty good.
He's a baby. I love him.
I don't know why, but in my head, curious and clueless became clurious.
Oh, clueless.
What does that
A
mean?
very
when it's at
useful
home?
word.
I think we all feel like
Oh.
that on some days.
Yeah, I feel like that right now.
So today we are playing on the virtual tabletop Roll20. Roll20 are our sponsors. It's an easy to use platform that is basically the Zoom of board games. All you have to do is make a free account and then you can use the Adventures on a Dime rules, the system that we're playing with. You can make cute little drawings of toads. You can mess them up accidentally by clicking on them. You can have interactive maps. You can plot your journeys, and you can even have character sheets that you can show off to all your friends and family, or just yourself. It's cool. You can log all sorts of stuff. Everything looks really fancy, and you can even, with a click of a button, roll some dice and see the result. For example,
Classic.
Balthazar rolled a cunning check, got a 1, and then it tells you the rules. Something goes terribly wrong, the narrator describes how things go awry and hijinks may follow. The hijinks of today is that I'm going to ask Ver to please recount what happened in the last session.
Oh, heck. All right, let's see. Let me collect my thoughts for a second. That one brain cell that Balthazar uses, I need to acquire it right now.
I feel like from now on I'm going to do a cunning roll. Just with Balthazar when we start the game. On a hijinks, you have to do the recount. On a complication,
That's not fair.
you get to rock, paper, scissors it with someone else on the show.
no.
And on a 4, a critical success, you get to choose who gets to do it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
pretty good.
Oh, you guys have to placate me to, so I don't. It's gonna be like a.
But also
Yeah,
very cruel.
we'll see who
'cause
can-
It's always Balthazar. It's
Yeah,
always
but-
the one.
You can, maybe you can convince me to not choose you. Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Sorry, I'm genuinely, because we did the polecat. That was the previous thing. So that was right after the polecat, essentially, wasn't it? That we started the last episode. So our characters are currently on their way to the town of Bramblefork, from where they will be peeling off. Thank you. To try to discover this cache with a journal belonging to a somewhat sinister squirrel who has stolen a gizmo created by our friend Lutzen. And we are wishing to retrieve this journal to discover who it is that prompted her or employed her to steal the iron beetle that Lutzen had created. Our path took us from Willowmoot towards the direction of Aspen Grace. And as we were traveling towards Aspen Grace, we happened upon a fork in the road that would take us either directly through or to the town and through the town, or a more winding path around it. We met a friendly... was it a hedgehog? Yes, it was a hedgehog farmer who had informed us that apparently there is a wolf outside of Aspen Grace, and that nobody's going to the town right now, which is why he is selling his wares at this juncture. Sorry, my phone just rang and it was very distracting. We bought some carrots. We did some hijinks. A phrase of "I don't have teeth" was uttered, which we still discussed earlier today. But we ultimately decided that we'll check out these rumors. We weren't really fully convinced if this farmer was telling the truth. He kind of heard it secondhand, so we decided, well, not only is it kind of an interesting rumor, but also our route would be more direct through Aspengray, so it would benefit us to go that direction rather than this more winding path. Upon making it to Aspengray, we very quickly, or it was Pipistrelle, who with her more socially kind of aware graces realized that there is an air of unease in the town. We discovered that people are indeed rather on edge, or the beasts therein are on edge, and that there is indeed a wolf outside of Aspengray. We were sent to a hare who's kind of like he manages the local market and is basically the last person left who's in any modicum of being in charge. His name being, if I'm not mistaken, Leon de Grance.
Leo de Grance.
Leo de Grance. And he informed us that if we managed to maybe get this wolf to budge, they could give us some things for travel, some food or supplies if we so wish, as the wolf's presence has significantly diminished Aspengrace's thriving market and economy. And has been never directly involved in anything. This wolf just seems to every day be sitting at a distance, looking at Aspengray, and then I think it is for the nighttime that he leaves. And while he hasn't been aggressive, it is still a cause of much concern and fright to all of these small beasts. We, from the vantage point of where we met Leon de Grance, we in fact saw the wolf. It was larger than the largest windmill outside of Aspengray. So this was a behemoth of gargantuan size that despite everything, we decided, well, we'll go and speak to him. As Pipistrelle and Lutzen were definitely carried through the sense of wanting to help people out, but also some curiosity, while Balthazar, for some reason, was convinced that this wolf is in fact a knight, therefore a fellow with whom he can have a face-to-face honest conversation. When we started approaching the wolf, we realized that this is no ordinary behemoth. The wolf was clad in a beautiful cloak with a popped collar, nonetheless, as well as a scarf. And it had an entire kit set up of a kind of wooden board upon which there was a parchment that it had set out, and it was making marks on the parchment with a claw dipped in ink, making these kind of markings. Oh, it wasn't a claw dipped in ink?
No, it was a claw that was punching holes in it, similar to
I know that. I was gonna say I was gonna say that. I thought that it's doing it with its claw. I think that's what you said. All right.
It was
in
doing
any
it with
case,
its claw, but there wasn't any ink. It was inkless.
Oh, sorry, that I didn't. I thought it was like punching with ink. In any case, yes, it was punching kind of markings into this parchment, Braille-esque, that we could not read. We didn't understand. And when we approached the wolf, it didn't really pay attention to us. We spoke out to it, kind of asking, what is it doing here? What is it writing, as it seems to be writing? And finally, it gave us some of its attention, though this attention was very much the attention that a behemoth would bestow upon a beast. There was what would the right word be? I'm thinking not that. I guess it was kind of haughty, like not kind of arrogant in its disposition. It looked down on us, literally and figuratively, as it spoke. But we did find out through what it said that it is writing a saga, that it is observing the denizens of Aspengray as some. It has described them as subjects. It seems, I think. My interpretation is that it is drawing some manner of inspiration, watching this town and writing about its inhabitants. And it said that we asked if it will eat anyone, and it said no, that would be it wouldn't do that because these subjects I think it kind of concluded like it would be sort of in poor taste or something. I don't quite remember its exact words. But however, in response to the question of how long will it be, it said that these things take time. And when we remained pestering it just a little bit, and it paid a little bit more attention to us then. It seemed quite annoyed with our presence. But it did ask Balthazar what he knows of sacrifice. And he answered, informing the wolf that as a knight, he knows quite a bit about sacrifice and dying or fellows dying in service of honor and the betterment of everyone else. And the wolf said that it would like to speak with Balthazar the next morning. And when Lutzen and Pipistrelle also piped up about their experiences with sacrifice, the wolf also expressed some manner of interest in hearing what their experience of such a thing is. As we were kind of unable to really gauge what it is doing any further, as it stopped paying attention to us and was rather aggressive when Pipistrelle tried to approach closer, not allowing her to be close to the manuscript, we turned around, returning to Aspen Grace, and as we did, the wolf kind of gathered together its kit and started departing. And once we returned to Aspen Grace, reporting to Leon de Grosse, that, well, we didn't really manage to get it out of the way, but, you know, it's writing a book and isn't that grand. After a short conversation, we realized that Pipistrelle could probably very easily follow this creature from a very safe distance, as she has regained her ability to fly, and was overwhelmed with curiosity about what it is that this creature does in the nighttime, away from anyone's gaze or scrutiny. And we pretty much left off on this note of Pipistrelle being ready to chase this wild curiosity that is so very strong in her and dictates a lot of her actions, as Balthazar and Lutzen looked on, just hoping that she will be safe in this endeavor.
Okay. That is a fantastic summary, Ver. Thank you very much.
Very succinct as usual, Ver.
Very good.
I messed
12
up.
out of
I
10.
don't know why I feel like I messed up when I said it used ink. For some reason in my head, it had like a big ink pot, and it was still punching through ink, which doesn't make sense when I think about it. But my brain nonetheless decided that that's what it was doing.
To be fair, every time I've described a creature writing, I've described it like dipping its claw in ink and then writing with the claw, so that's fair.
Like, my brain knew that it's doing the Braille-esque punching, but I'm still like, oh, it was dipping its claw in ink, because it's what everybody does, come on.
Mm-hmm. It's just a habit.
Yeah, I suppose so. In any case, oof. There you
Okay,
go. That's what we've been doing.
So, I think we're going to start with a Pipistrelle. But I want you, Balthazar and Lutzen, to think about what you want to do, because I'm going to be swapping between different scenes. So I'm going to be swapping between Pipistrelle and what y'all are doing back in Aspen Grace.
I mean, I can already tell you that Balthazar is just pacing nervously back and forth in whatever place we decide to sleep in. That's it. That's his entire evening, his anxiety.
I'm going to say, for brevity, like, Leo de Grant has allowed you to stay in the Aspen Grace Council Town Hall vibe, which is sort of like a room higher up in the trees. I don't know if I drew. I didn't draw a map of how it looks, or at least if I did, I deleted it. But it's like a lot of the buildings are built around the trunk of the aspen trees, as opposed to into the aspen trees, because they're too small to hollow out, and they are still alive. So it's fairly high up, but it's not the highest building, and it's surrounded by other buildings as well. It's a fairly plain chamber. A lot of the chairs have been pushed to the side, so you guys have space to kind of lay out sleeping bags or to fall asleep on a bench or something like that.
Cool.
Very kind of
so, like, I'll just say that's happened, but you can think about what you're going to do. But Pipistrelle, you I'm going to change the music to something a little more exciting.
Oh, I wanted to say, I wrote it in chat, Brian. I'm not sure if you saw, but I have the music turned up to maximum volume in Roll20, and I don't hear it much. So
okay.
I feel that people on the stream won't hear it even more.
Okay.
Well, it's a bit louder now.
Shall... To be fair, the curious theme is a little quiet.
Maybe it was that then.
It's specifically meant to be just little plinky plonky sounds. So
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
does
turn everything...
This does seem more a little louder.
Yes. If you think it's too loud in the live chat and you hate it and you want us to just shush it, let us know.
If you want us to shush it.
Yeah.
Silence.
All right.
Oh, this music is really intense, and I'm really into it.
So, describe what flying looks like. Pipistrelle, you're about to jump off of, say, the let's say the balcony of this town chamber, because it looks out over other parts. You've got the market below you, branches of kind of like bright green leaves. You've got the dusk light fading off. This is the first time you have flown at night in maybe a month or more.
I think Pip is sort of standing on the balcony. I imagine it, like, is the balcony to the room that Balthazar and Dodson would be in? Or like, have I moved into a different room? Okay. So, like, I think she would, like, look back at the pair of them in the room with the, like, with some, like, candles and things lit, and she would sort of, like... She would nod and smile at them, you know, as in a it'll be okay kind of way, and then she would sort of hop up onto the to the boundary of the balcony, like the sort of you know, the bit that stops you from falling off it. She sort of would like, she would crouch. She would like close her eyes for a minute just to kind of adjust them to the dark, and then she would open, so she can kind of get a more of an understanding of what she's looking at. And she'd spread her wings wide, and then she would jump up and away from the balcony. And start, you know, so she'd have that initial jump of and sort of keep her wings tucked in, and then spread them out and start flying sort of in earnest, which, you know, I don't know if anyone has ever seen what a bat flies like, but they don't tend to glide like birds do. They beat their wings very fast, so it keeps them. They're very nimble in the air. They're not necessarily built for speed, but they are built for like agility. So she, you know, so like the fact that she'd be kind of moving upwards and upwards into the sort of more of the canopy of the tree, moving as quickly as she can. But sort of her eyes would kind of be darting mostly towards the ground. They're sort of looking at the ground, looking for the wolf, and then sort of looking up and around, making sure that she's not going to fly into any branches, making sure there aren't any owls nearby. And
I think you're demonstrating an awareness of your surrounding, and keeping like, these are regular checks that you're going through, or you've gone through in the past. I think this would be vigor. It's routine, it's practice. So could you make a vigor check for me?
I can indeed. Vigor is typically my worst.
Can you tag anything?
I'm gonna stay. Let me see. I am going to, if I can anyway, can I tag my my staying alert, because it is late at night. This is more sort of routine for her. This is definitely something that is within her wheelhouse, something that she's very good at, something that she's very used to. But, you know, there is a wolf out here. You know, it's the first time she's been flying on her own in a long time, and she is very much aware that, like, you know, this is what she's doing is kind of pretty foolhardy and slightly dangerous. So, you know, she's very
I'll let you
kind
have
of on the
advantage.
ball.
You're feeling very wary and very nervous, even though you're excited to be flying again.
Oh, she's so happy to be flying, but this is definitely a kind of like, this is not like jumping and flying like earlier. This is like no, I have something to do and I'm scared. Oh, come on!
No!
You rolled a 3 and a 2. Both of those are complications. You barely managed to pull it off, but not without consequence. The narrator describes how the situation becomes more complicated.
Oh no!
So I'm going to throw this to you. What do you think would go wrong on your first flight?
Oh god, honestly, first flight in a while, kind of getting used to she's gotten so used to being on the ground where you're moving so slowly that it's very easy. If something is coming your way, you could avoid it. But like if she just kind of happened to be looking down at the wrong moment, she may fly through a bunch of leaves or get hit in the face by a branch that would kind of throw her off balance. It makes noise. Obviously, it's not something you want to be doing. You don't want to be causing. Also, like it's nighttime, and if there are owls about, like owls are obviously, they're very sight oriented. They look for movement. So she doesn't want to make any more movement than she has to, aside from flying. So yeah, I'd say honestly she's probably gotten hit in the face with a branch, or like leaves in her ears, or like any number of those.
I feel like
things she wasn't looking.
Do you know that scene in Kiki's Delivery Service where she first flies off on her broom for the very first time, and she's like goosh 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 into different trees, and all the bells are ringing?
Yeah. Yeah,
I feel like you sort of like you smush into a bush, and there's like leaves, and like you fly, and then there's sort of like in the distance we zoom out and we see that we've got like Pipistrelle and Lutzen just sort of like looking at you and shaking their heads, and you're flapping off into the distance.
Trying to be all cool and jump off the balcony, but no. Like
once you clear the aspens, there aren't actually many trees for the whole area because Aspen Grace is fairly isolated. It's much more like grassland around here.
That's a little bit. Actually, that's not quite as bad to fly in, because hopefully there will be owls, but they'll be in the woods. She
so
says,
you are
hopefully.
flapping, and you feel the exuberance and that sort of almost manic energy of exercising. You've had practice throughout the day of building up that endurance again, and now you're really going for a long flight, and you're looking around for this wolf. You're looking around to see where it's gone. The first thing you do is kind of dart your eyes towards the windmill. Now, the wolf left when you left, so it's not there anymore. What are you going to try and do to track it?
I think we saw the direction that it went off in, didn't we?
Yeah, it went east.
Yeah, it did.
In the direction of like where the fire bramble dam, like that kind of general.
Yeah. So we knew that it headed east. So I imagine that what Pip would do is she would kind of head over to the windmill. She'd fly maybe like a little bit lower just to see if there were like any tracks and things on the ground that she could follow. But if she didn't see any, it would be kind of case like I'm going to fly east until I hopefully find this wall.
Okay, so you're trying to be intelligent about this. You're not just kind of vibing, so to speak. I will make a cunning check to try and find tracks.
Okay.
You got this.
Oh, come on!
Oh no.
Anything you can tag? Anything you can tag?
It's too late. I'm going to say you've
rolled.
Now, I will remind you, as part of Vice and Virtue, we had established the prompt for this scene, the fortune, which I'm going to scroll back up and read it back to you. That was palms gilded by blood, the blood of beasts. Palms gilded by the blood of beasts. And as part of that, that refreshed your Vice and Virtue boons. So Pipistrelle, you are in Vice, so you have an auto self-success. You're very in the moment. Lutzen, you are neutral. You can ask a question of me, and I will give you a truthful answer. That is a reflection of you balancing different options that you have, being in that neutral space. And then Balthazar, you are also Vice. You're very in the moment and decisive.
I wish I was Virtue in this moment. Oh God. Pipistrelle.
So you can use that auto self-success if you want, or you can save it for later.
See, that's the thing, is I'm worried, like, if I use it now, great, I'm not gonna fuck up, and and I might find the wolf. But now I'm worried, like, if I still find the wolf, I won't have an auto success in case something goes wrong.
Well, here's the thing. This is like this is a side mission, so to say. If we don't find the wolf, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah,
whereas if the wolf lunges at you and bites you, and you can't auto succeed to dodge, that's literally the end of the world.
That is true. Okay, you know what? That's really terrifying.
Not to be dramatic, but yeah, you know what? I'll hold on to my auto success for now. So clearly, I do something a little bit wrong.
You are just finding it very difficult to like control your up and down, your like how much you pitch down, and the just trying to find the word for it. You're just all
Altitude.
over the place. You're a mess. So you're flying,
no.
and you find the tracks, and you sort of like along the ground and scrabble through them, and then get back up into the air. And you're flapping around. You are so like you smack into like you smacked into the branches in Aspen Grace. You flop onto the ground here before trying to fly back up again.
No.
I'm gonna let you make a decision. Do you take damage, or do you break something in your bag?
Oh my god,
Not again.
I cannot break any more stuff. Okay, spur of the moment decision. I'm gonna take a damage because god damn it, Pip.
I feel like
think-
Pip just looks drunk from afar.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yep.
like, to think us watching it, like, oh god.
Go home, Pip. You're drunk.
Clearly.
So I'm gonna say that you're far enough away from Aspen Grace that Lutzen and Balthazar can no longer see you.
Thank God.
But
How embarrassing.
I'm gonna say even then. You can reason this otherwise, but I think you take willpower damage because you're kind of taking a real hit to your ego here. You're not getting physically hurt, but this is like you used to fly all over the place. You used to fly the breadth of the Bristley Woods, and now you can't even stay in the air for very long.
No, 100%. I would agree with that. She's really embarrassed of herself. Like, oh man, this is ridiculous. Like this should come naturally to me. Why is it not coming naturally to me? Yeah.
So you keep on
she's
flying.
Hecking embarrassed. Yeah.
But you found some large paw prints, and this is the thing is they're huge. So from the kind of the vantage that you're seeing them, they're very easy to follow. Versus say like a mouse's paw prints, which would be impossible. And you follow it east. You clear Aspen Grace, and you eventually start to see approaching some of that burnt wildfire scorched land this way. You start to feel like that kind of burning tiring in your wings. You feel that you might have been flying for maybe 10-15 minutes at this point. It's much easier to clear ground. You're not walking over it, but you also are kind of sprinting at the same time. You can't fly slowly.
No, that's true.
So, describe how you keep flying and what's driving you to keep going.
I think, just in typical sort of Pip fashion, there is just this burning desire for knowledge. Like, this wolf, to her anyway, feels like it's such an odd thing for firstly for there to be a wolf this far south in the summer. Secondly, for a behemoth of that size to be wearing kind of clothing that's not typical of the behemoths that other people have described to Pip. They don't tend to wear clothes. And thirdly, what does a wolf need to know about a tiny little town on top of a hill in the Bristley Woods? Why would a wolf be here? She has so many questions. She has so many just things that she does not know how to answer, aside from finding this wolf and seeing if he is reporting to someone or what he is doing.
I think this would be a willpower check to see how long you can keep flying.
Oh, please. Oh, of course, my willpower.
Now, do you want to tag anything?
Anything to
Tag?
tag. Anything
Can you
to tag.
tag? Like willpower, or no, willpower's a skill. Like
Like your
tenacity,
curiosity.
Curiosity.
You're so curious. Maybe
Yeah,
that'll carry you through.
Honestly, I really could. I think I'm gonna try and tag if I'm allowed to. Can I just tag my inquisitive nature? These questions are just ringing in her head. She cannot escape them. She is
I think
so
they're
determined to know.
they're so loud they're almost distracting you from that shame you felt earlier, so I will let you have advantage.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yes,
Ooh.
I will take a crit success.
So you rolled a 4 and a 6, but 6 on a d6 is a critical success. You do better than expected. The narrative describes how things go in your favor. So I'll let you make a
God.
choice. Do you get there quickly, or do you get there quietly?
Oh no.
Ooh, that's a
Oh,
choice.
no. Oh, okay. The player in me is quickly, I want to know what the fuck is going on. Sorry for swearing. But the Pip in me is very nervous. I'm scared of owls because of the one that Balthazar and I faced a while ago. I'm gonna go with quietly. I don't want to get spotted by anything.
Okay. We will come back to you once you have snuck up on the wolf.
Oh,
For now, though, who would like to go and have a little scene next? Balthazar or Lutzen or both?
Well, I feel we're probably hanging out together
Yeah, I think so.
in our condo that Leon gave us.
Would it be like ATV, Animal TV, or MTV? Welcome to our crib.
What ATV? Welcome to our
ATV.
nest.
Welcome to our nest. Welcome to our burrow.
Like Pimp My Nest.
Pimp my nest. That's it. We're just discussing how to make our home better. No.
Well, Balthazar is just kind of pacing in front of that window nervously back and forth. But he's too scared to look out of the window because he's never been up in a tree. And I think like when we're going up and down like on the platforms, like that's one thing. But then staying up in a tree, like next to the bark and the branches, like I imagine with any kind of wind, there's probably some swaying, and creaking.
Maybe this is the first time that Balthazar has ever felt vertigo. Like, you're in the tree and everything's fine, and then a breeze comes through from the west, and the whole tree shifts, and then you realize you steady yourself, and you're like, oh, it's a bit strange, why is it moving? You look over the edge, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
I am
absolutely. Yes, he's, there's just a lot of things to be anxious about all at the same time. And I think he both doesn't want to pace and needs to pace because of the nervousness and the fighting with the vertigo. So he's just walking.
Visibly,
absolutely.
Jittering.
Yeah, and probably like nervous croaks.
Oh, nervous squeaky croaks. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's making little nervous squeaks.
Well, I think Lutzen will see this like uncomfortability, how uncomfortable Balthi is, and we'll kind of go over and console him and just kind of pat him on the shoulder and just be like, don't worry about it. Pip's got this. It's all right. I believe fully in them. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Oh, I know. I just can't help but worry. That night is so dark and there's wind and she's so small. What if the wind just sweeps her away?
She's a bat, Balthi. She'll be fine. She's used to this. I'm sure it's so unlikely. She's not going to be crashing into trees and stuff. She's got wings. She knows how to do this.
I can't imagine. I mean, you're right. I can't imagine her not flying gracefully at all.
Exactly.
We saw her earlier
She's so
today,
nimble.
and she's so nimble and knows very well where there's a place to fly and where the ground is and how not to crash into it and look very, very clumsy.
Exactly. And
I
they can see
know.
bats can see well in the dark. So, like, what could possibly go wrong?
Just
staying out the way. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
But I mean, I know that the wolf is a knight and he wouldn't have any reason to attack her, but he growled so menacingly when she approached his manuscript. And
That
what
is
if
true.
what if she just happens to fly right on top of it? And I don't know. I just see all of these scenarios, and I'm not there to protect her in any of them.
Oh, the stars. I really hope she doesn't fly right into his mouth. That'd be horrible. That's really not what we want. But no, we're not thinking about that.
Would
But
be
we're
quite
only...
a terrible hijinks, wouldn't it?
We can only think of good things. There can only be good things to happen from this.
I love this. I'm writing this down.
Yeah. This is canon.
Well,
Look, how about... Let's go for a walk, because it's not doing you any good just standing about here.
yeah, you're right. A walk sounds like a good idea. You're right. I'm glad you're here to talk some sense into me.
Well, you know what they say. Rats are very sensible folks.
That is something that is said. Yes. You're the first. Well, no, you're not the first rat I've met. I've actually met quite a few, but the first one I'm truly friends with. So I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. Yeah, there can be some mean rats, but I'm a nice rat. I like to think.
Oh, that's for certain.
I
all
think,
right,
at
well-
least I'm sure. Most people have said
So
I'm
where
right.
where do you guys want to walk?
Well, so we're in the kind of council-y place just now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to snoop around a little bit and just see what's in the vicinity.
You want to do a pip?
A little bit, or actually, well, no, because when we last left off, those kind of hairs were a little bit suspect, right?
Yeah, because we had a situation where I think it was Lutzen who kind of felt like someone's watching him, but then couldn't really get a beat on it. There was something a little sus when we were at the market and after we kind of recorded, but then we didn't really get any follow-up. And you talked with those hares. There was the old hare and the younger hare who were playing cards.
Yeah, because I kind of managed to like convince them to open up a little bit, but I can't really remember what they had said.
I think they kind of talked about like the wolf has been coming like for a while. I think is what we sort of had gotten from that conversation, and like, you know, people weren't coming to Aspen Grace, like people weren't coming to trade in the town, and like there wasn't really very much for them to do as guards because like there was like they can't go up against the wolf and there's no one here.
Yeah, because I think Lutzen was kind of pressing as like, why has no one spoken to the wolf yet? Like, what's going on with it? Like, what's the relationship with that? Yeah, I kind of want to like pry into it more, but I don't know what direction that would like take us. You know, like how, because there doesn't seem to be really anyone around to question or to ask more. So I guess it's just kind of looking around.
So you
for
could wander around Aspen Grace. There are still some beasts out and about, but it's like it's early evening. You know, dusk is, I say early, it's actually quite late evening. Like dusk has settled, creatures are now going to bed, but also, you know, it's not exactly the same.
Friends.
There might be some night. There also are nocturnal animals as well.
That's true. And they're more likely, well, they might not even know, but they might hear rumors of like stuff in about the nights, like the kind of the whispers of the eve.
That's what they're called. Well, I think, Balthazar in any case will probably say, if we're going for a walk, how about we go somewhere that sways a little less? Maybe that lovely old dry out riverbed. That could be a fine place to walk around. That's not on a tree.
Are you not a fan of trees, Balthy?
Well, I like trees from afar and from underneath them. This is the first time I'm really on a tree, and it's an experience.
This is the first time? That's brilliant. It must be phenomenal. It must be really nice. Well,
no.
Maybe not. You're really not enjoying it, are you? I can kind of see you're kind of shivering a little bit.
No.
Okay, let's go and walk somewhere else.
Yes.
And we'll kind of start wandering our way down, down to the groundish level, I guess.
Okay, as you're wandering down,
definitely, like, skips like the last few stairs. He kind of like hop down just to really get to nice, you know, good old land. Good old dry land.
As you're going down, you barrel past those hedgehog guards again, who kind of hear you like down the stairs, and they go, "Oh, coming through," and you sort of go down very quickly. And let's say you kind of pass a little slower, and they give you a little smile.
Yeah, I'll just say as I pass, like, he's not a fan of the trees.
And then I think they'll say like, "We could hear."
Oh.
And you get to you get down to like the lower levels of Aspen Grace, where the wind is definitely not pushing the trees branches so much, and you want to go into the riverbed, yes?
Yeah, Balthazar would, because
I think Watson's just going to follow.
Stable ground.
Yeah, wherever Balthy feels comfortable.
So here, the earth. You've seen a dried riverbed before, I'm going to assume. And it normally has cracked earth, but here it is a dried riverbed. There are like bits of root sticking out of the side of the bank here, and signs this used to be a riverbed, but all of the bed itself is actually trampled flat and smooth. Clearly lots of creatures move through here. There are mud houses, or houses made from like earth bricks, that have then been daubed with like, you know, like wattle and chalk. And they have wooden roofs. They seem semi-permanent, as if they were quickly erected, but then expanded and built on.
Okay.
Some of these are 2-story, some of these are 1-story. Occasionally there are reed, like drapes between buildings to make sort of like shelters, say from sun or from rain, but they're not necessarily very high quality. They're not like fabric or cloth. They're just, you know, quickly woven grasses and reeds. And it is mostly hares living down here. The houses are larger. and sized for hares, as opposed to the smaller chambers that you saw in Aspen Grace itself.
Okay.
So is this a little bit of like a shantytown feeling?
You're getting that vibe as you're moving
Okay.
through it. You're like, I'm seeing a lot of hares and not a lot of smaller beasts living here.
Interesting.
The atmosphere seems very pleasant. You can smell cooking going on. You can see smoke coming out of several different chimney pots. There might be, say, maybe you'd guess, because you've looked at it from above as well, there might be like 100 little huts down here, or 100 roofs anyway. So some of them are two-story and that sort of stuff. And you're kind of walking through, and there are some closed market stalls, places that, like, they're houses, but also have spaces for tables and awnings to be drawn out front. So the buildings have a lot of multi-purpose here. But there are also a couple open chambers. I think, let's say there's like a tap room. There seems to be some kind of like social drinking space that has lanterns on. And you can see lots of like glimmers of orange lights from behind windows, wooden shuttered windows.
I want to say that with regards to my question, Balthazar wouldn't know that this looks kind of makeshift because he doesn't know, like, foreign architecture. Like, he only knows what toad logs look like, and then everything else is like, oh, that's how, that's just how people build their houses. Like, he doesn't know that. Because I'm guessing that these hares are basically, maybe they came up from south or something, because generally the hares that we speak with, the ones with the Frenchish accent, are that breed of hare, I think, that comes from mainland Europe. So these guys could be coming up to settle here. And I wonder if this is the case here. Not that Balthazar would know, because he doesn't know anything.
Aw.
But I think if there seems to be like a kind of like a social, like an area, like a little hall or something where everybody can sit down and maybe there's some like food or drink, then we can maybe settle down there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Just to kind of settle and kind of try and talk to some people.
Yeah, or I mean, for Balthazar is just taking his thoughts off of.
Yeah, take his mind away from it.
Dear Pip.
Oh.
So I'd say you could go into, there's more of a drinking space that seems to have beer, like wheat beer, and then opposite it there's more of a cooking space, and you kind of poke your heads in the door, which is quite large for you, and you see that there are a bunch of hares in here. There are a couple hedgehogs as well, and at the center of the room is a very large cauldron, large enough to fit at least 3 hares. Like, it's massive.
Oh, wow.
And you see lots of, there's a hare standing on a stall stirring it, and they kind of notice you in the door and they go, oh, hello, how are you? Are you okay? Everything okay? Come in, it's warm.
Are you sure? We're just stopping by just to see what's around, really. But if you're welcoming us in, thank you. It's very kind of you.
Oh, please come in. Welcome to the community bubble. This is a space where everyone can sit and relax. There are stools of all sizes, and if you would like some food, all we ask is that you throw something in. It's a bit of a community pot. And you kind of see that there's a hedgehog slurping some soup, and it's got a whole variety of different vegetables inside of it. And grains as well.
Well, I think if we go in, I would offer up a carrot as a kind of contribution for us. Well, it depends on the size of them, I guess, but a couple of carrots maybe.
Thank you, because I don't have any food. I have a bottle of cider. You can really spike this soup.
I mean, you get kind of a stews with like alcohol mix in them. Well, obviously it cooks off, but could be good.
They might recognize it, because it's like the hare that gave it to us was like, oh, this is what we make back home. So he's gonna, you know what? Hey, he's gonna, because you still have one bottle, right? Because I want our 3 critters to have it during sun-time. So he'll take out this bottle, and say, "But I don't know if this is suitable for a stew, but we did get it from a hare in Willowmoot, and she said it's something that they make where she is from. perhaps it would be a suitable contribution.
And the hare kind of steps off of the stool, and you notice that they have quite a slight frame, and their fur looks very, very... You know how like younger animals just have that soft-looking fur?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell this hare is young by looking at them.
Aww.
And they go over and they go, "Oh, I have not seen such a thing before." Picks up the bottle and kind of looks at it, looks at the label and goes, "Let me show my papa." And she goes, "Papa!" and kind of walks to the side of the room. And then you can see that there are some hares in the corner playing cards. And she goes, "Look at this." And he goes, "Whoa. What is this?" And he goes, "Oh, this is very nice. Why did you get this?" I'm very good at my French accents, as you can tell.
Very good.
And,
It is very good.
But he seems very
So
pleased.
do the hares here? They don't hop. They hop.
Oh, stop it.
Hop, hop.
That's good. That's good.
Look, I just can't do any other accents. So all of them are French. I'm learning. I'm trying to learn some.
You're doing
some
great,
Gaelic
Ryan.
sounding vibes. Soon I'll be making a mess of all languages. Just you wait. But the hare comes back and kind of squats down. Would they squat down? I feel like they'd squat down.
Sure.
You're very small.
Yeah, Greer does like a Slav squat when she wants to be cool.
Yeah, I think they Slav squat. So like, they Slav squat down and say, they don't have the bottle anymore, and they say, "My papa says it is very good. Apparently, it is a thing called cider. You guys do not grow so many apples up here in the north. My name is Henry, and you guys are?"
I am Balthazar of Blueberry Pond, and this is Lutson, whose surname I forget.
10 whiskers. What's in 10
Ten
whiskers?
Whiskers.
Pleasure.
And the okay, world building. What would animals do instead of handshake?
Ooh, okay.
Maybe hares just do like a little like, you know, when they scruff up their nose, just like a hello, just nose scrunch twice.
Aww.
Oh, that's
Nose
adorable.
scrunch.
I feel like lots of them do like
it's
a little like ear.
The hair bounces on its heels a little bit. It's a little bob.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, it's like a little,
And says-
like a sitting curtsy. I quite like that.
Mm.
And says, well,
Balthazar does the squat, does the toad squat.
I think lots of them do like
I
a
feel
little
like-
ear twitch, like a one at a time, little like twitch.
sort of like a fish wink.
Oh my god, yeah.
So cute.
So Henry goes, well, it is very good to meet you, Balthazar of Blueberry Ponds. And good to meet you too, Lutson and Teeth. If I take those carrots, I will put them into the stew and I will get you some balls. Are you feeling very hungry today?
I think we could do with a good portion. Something to fill us up and
Mostly out of nerves. I'm a stress eater.
And then kind of Henry gives you a very slight bump with an elbow and goes, "Do not worry, I am too." And gets up and then goes towards the big pot. And you can see that as you get closer to it, there's actually a large chamber underneath that houses all of the wood and seems to kind of have that fire kind of gently... I say it's not wood, it's actually more like coals that are very gently heating the pot, so it's on a slow rolling boil as opposed to being like a big heat fire vibe. And you are given stew, and it is very tasty. You find that there are all sorts of fresh vegetables in it. So there's carrots and
potatoes.
Atlanta. What other fresh vegetables could you get that are autumnal? End of summer autumnal in Scotland. I feel like they've got nice herbs in it, like they might have fennel.
Yeah, I imagine probably a good time of year for things like potatoes are a good one. Parsnips probably.
Parsnip.
Like end of summer squash and things like that. Onions, lots of onions.
It's got
a good time
wild
for-
garlic, wild onions and wild garlic.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
It'll be all the sort of like root vegetables that we'll be kind of having at this time of year.
It also has these very small, sort of round, squishy things. They're not berries. They're very strange.
Oh.
They taste extremely sweet when you sort of chew into them or when you suck on them, Balthazar. And they're very wrinkly.
He can chew. It doesn't have teeth, but he can still
When you gum them to death.
no.
And
Are they raisins?
not that you would know, but yes, they're currants.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, these are delicious. What? I don't think I've come across these before.
And the hare kind of is walking by, I'm gonna say, and Henry says, "Oh, those are raisins. We have a bunch in a bag. We put a little bit in. They soak up very nicely with the juices. They are dried. You may not them as sultanas.
Oh, interesting.
You should ask. I think here you call them fair winds. The birds that fly between the different lands, they have them, or they bring them. They're quite light, especially when dried, and they are very, very nice. We use them on special occasions.
And what's the special occasion? Or are these just a contribution this time?
Oh, it is Papa's birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh! Well,
I
I'm
hope he
very
enjoys
glad.
this.
I'm very glad I gave him that bottle. Well, you gave him that bottle. It seems like a nice gift.
Exactly. I hope he enjoys the cider.
You look over, and of course, like Papa and all his friends are very much enjoying the bottle of cider.
Oh, they look so joyful and a little bit dizzy.
They give you a
Happy
they will give
birthday
you like
to you,
a.
sir!
So you say that out, and they all kind of give you like a give you like a raise of glasses to you. They're wooden
Aw.
cups towards you.
What
That's
kind of
adorable.
cures our bowls of stew?
Mm.
Yeah. Balthazar
Chink.
will raise his bowl of stew as well. Just as a kind of like,
Yeah, the gesture.
yeah.
I like it.
So,
Sláinte, right? That's
I'm gonna
So
say
Sláinte
that
that.
you
Yeah.
can you can eat as much as you like. For now, however, we're gonna swap back over to a
Oh
certain
my
bat.
god. What lovely vibes over to like flying into death's domain.
So, you have been flying maybe for 2-3 hours now, Pipistrelle. And you spot, at first, something. I'm just going to go for the right. There we go, sneaking. You spot in the distance a tiny glimmer. Little flash, and then nothing. It is now entirely dark. You see it
Ooh.
again, and you start to kind of flap closer. You're now flying quite high, so that creatures on the ground can't necessarily hear you flying. This glint is the first trace in the direction of the tracks you've been following of something going on. And it glints again. What do you do?
Ooh. I think Pip would carefully angle herself so to keep her height, but would begin to sort of fly towards that glinting, because that's very intriguing.
And how are you flying?
Well, I think hopefully after a couple of hours, she's sort of starting to really kind of get her sort of bearings back a little bit, getting used to being in the air again. So I think she's probably flying a little bit more calmly now, so she won't be flapping as much. She won't be trying to get as much height or as much speed. She'll kind of be catching any breeze that she can and just sort of drifting and gliding through the air as sort of probably quite quietly now, I think.
You're trying to like sit on the breeze a bit and
Yes.
have that push you a little bit. There is a breeze from
Yes.
the west coming through.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you to make a vigor check for me, because you're relying on old routines coming through again.
Okie dokie.
Anything you can tag, remember.
Drag
I'm going to, hopefully, if I can anyway, can I tag my unassuming presence? Because I am...
Yes,
I'm
I'll let you
I'm
tag
using-
that, because
Yeah,
in
using
my
tiny
head, this is to
stature.
see how noticeable you are.
Cool, I'm going to tag my unassuming presence because I'm a small baby bat and I don't want anyone to see me. Sorry, did you say a vigor check, not a willpower check?
Yes, vigor.
Okay.
Mm.
I will take
So
the
that
success, please.
Could have been a hijinks. That could have been a hijinks, but instead you rolled a 4, which is success. So you slowly lower yourself down, trying to minimize the amount of like wing clap that happens when like on the backstroke your wings touch, and on the downstroke they touch as well, which can happen with bats.
Yeah.
And you get closer and you see it's far away, maybe 100, 200 paces, so it's difficult, but you see in the flashing there's like glint, 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 and then a small steady light starts to grow. You see the face of the wolf. It seems to be biting on something and creating sparks. And then a little fire lights and starts to illuminate the surrounding. You are, I'm going to point on the map, here. Sort of where that, I'm just going to remove the text because that sort of area is the charred remnants of the forest fire. The wolf is here. It is in this little divot of two streams.
Okay.
That feed towards Loch Katrine.
Just gonna do a little doodly. There we go.
That little green dot.
That little green dot. Okay.
It seems like it has a campsite here. There are some saddlebags, or like that sort of a look that it seems to be able to then crawl under and then pick up. There seems to be a dedicated campfire that is massive to your scale. On the campfire is a flat frying pan with a very slight lip.
Oh no!
How does he have a frying pan?
Also, why does a wolf?
Who made it?
Yeah, why is a wolf
He doesn't
cooking?
have thumbs.
Yeah. This is so weird. I think, like, from what Pip knows of behemoths, and like she's never met one, she's never been like up close to one aside from this wolf, like, but even she knows like this is weird, like this is not normal behavior for them. Like,
I don't think you do. You've
really?
never met one. You've never you've never met a wolf. Wolves don't live or like around you. It's like me saying this isn't regular behavior for fish. Like, I have no idea what fish do.
True. Okay, fair enough. I think she's just...
Okay, but if you saw a fish with a frying pan, and
If I saw a fish with a frying pan, I'd be like,
you'd
this
probably
looks a
say,
bit...
"What's happening?"
You can say what's happening.
Cannibalism.
The curiosity is 100% justified, but you don't know that this is what wolves do or not.
That's
like,
true.
as a defined fact. That's what I'm trying to say is, you're like, what the fuck?
I think it's more like a case of like from what she's heard of just behemoths in general, like this feels like out of
I would say,
sync, or,
especially
like,
in contrast to the boars, who never
Yes.
spoke and didn't
Yes,
wear clothes.
exactly.
That's a
Exactly.
good comparison.
like she's like she's used to the boars of the Boer War, which were basically like unstoppable tank beasts. Like they didn't speak, they didn't cook, they didn't wear
Beast.
clothes. They were just beasts in the most human visceral form possible. Whereas like this is a wolf that is clearly like
This guy's cooking.
Like, yeah, he's cooking. Like he's intelligent. He's writing a book. Like that doesn't.
You
that's
see
it.
him,
like
he's kind of got this frying pan out, and you see him walk over to one of the bags, flip it open with his head, and then with one paw, sort of flip something out of the bag. It's a packet of something. He sort of picks it up in his mouth, and he goes over to the frying pan, leaves it near the fire, and then he starts to walk off towards one of the other bags, and he picks up sort of, you don't realize it at first, but it's sort of like a waxed sack, maybe? Or like a bag, and he walks off into the darkness towards one of the rivers. And then he's out of the light of the fire, and you can't see him.
Is he fishing?
Maybe he went to get water.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he did.
Maybe it was a water skin.
Maybe. Oh God. Okay. Is there from my vantage point up in the air? Is there any like bush or rock or small tree nearby that I could land on?
Make a cunning check for me.
Most certainly can. Yes! Love me, my D10 in cunning.
So you got a critical success. I'd let you choose. What do you land on? Whatever you choose to land on will be there.
Okay, I imagine whatever is closest to this wolf, because if he's near a river, I imagine there probably aren't that many trees. But maybe if there was like a small, like like a gorse bush or a heather bush nearby that she could kind of land in and sort of flatten herself through, as it were. You know.
Okay, I'm going to say that you do manage to... You find, we'll say, a gorse bush, and it is long and tall and tendrily, like it's kind of grown halfway up a rock, and so it's kind of like splayed in different spaces, which gives you a nice way to sort of have a vantage to look down on him from.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
And it is late summer, so the gorse is still in bloom.
Yeah. Oh, which actually helpful. Hopefully, if he won't be able to smell me then if the wind is in the wrong direction. Yeah, everything smells like coconut because
I love it. Smells so good.
It does. Gorse is
I
so
love the
good
smell
like
of gorse. But apparently, if you have like a pollen allergy, it smells horrible. It's like a love-hate thing.
Really?
But anyway, beside the point. Back to the adventure.
Point. But yes. So yes,
back at the community bubble. Lutzen is explaining all the properties of gorse.
And it's really, really nice because in the summer, some people find it's really, really delicious. It smells something like a coconut. It's not. I've not really heard. I don't really know what a coconut is, but other people think it's absolutely disgusting.
Oh yes, I have heard of one of those. A swallow from Africa brought one over once.
Oh, fantastic! And are they large? Are they like a berry or something? Or are they? How does it? What's a coconut work? Does it come from the ground?
Africa?
These are very obscure references that we have just delved into.
I like to
Yes,
think
anyway.
opposite eyes are just going into like slowly drifting in opposite like walleye direction, just like what?
No. He likes listening. These are all interesting
that's true, that's
stories,
very
but he
true.
must ask the pointed question of what the heck is in Africa.
What
He's
is
just
it?
got furrowing his brow, like.
Yeah.
What is in Africa? But yeah,
Anyway.
I imagine Pippa's landed in this bush. Like, you know, obviously gorse is quite prickly, so she will have like to land. But what she would have done is she would have like brought herself in low, tucked her wings in, and just kind of fallen slightly onto one of the upper branches of the gorse bush.
And then kind of crawled into the thistly bit.
Yeah. Exactly, and crawled down because she can now climb.
Oh, not
Okay.
not yet. Not until we get her.
Not until I get my
career.
job, but I can hope I'm learning how to climb. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So you nestle yourself into this gorse bush, and after about 5 minutes, the wolf comes back, and the sack seems to have been some kind of waxed material that holds water, and he sort of flops it a bit. It's a little awkward, but he flops it with practiced motion, so he kind of stands a little bit on his hind legs and tilts his head so that like a piping bag, water then fills out into the pan, and there's like a as it kind of like hits the hot pan and starts to immediately boil and bubble. And then he opens the packet with one paw. Again, a practiced motion of flipping it. It rolls open and he takes out some kind of long, dark jerky, maybe a fish, and then flops it onto the pan, and then sits on his haunches and watches it.
So I can't, from this distance, I imagine I probably can't tell what it is just by looking at it, what he's eating.
I also don't think you would guess that it's some kind of fish jerky because you wouldn't have seen anything else. That's the
Yeah, I
closest you
suppose
think that a wolf would eat.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, I suppose, you know, she would never have seen like you know, strips of deer flesh or like she would never want to imagine like a hare getting eaten by a wolf. That's quite terrifying, obviously, to a beast. But anyway, what is she smelling right now? What is like? Can she smell anything particularly coming off the fire? Because if it is fish, it'll have quite a distinct smell as opposed to meat.
I'd say after you wait another like 5 minutes and the smell starts to reach you, whatever it is, it isn't fish, and it's not a smell that actually.
Oh no!
It does smell like flesh. I would say because
we
there's
were
like
in a
the war in the
fire.
fire. Like
Yeah.
you've smelled animals burning before,
Yeah.
and this is that.
Oh, that's horrible.
Like Pip, like realizing that smell, like she would clap her little hands over her nose, and like her eyes would start to water, not just with like the kind of like disgust of the smell, but also just the fear that would bring back in her.
I want you to
that
make a
obviously-
willpower check for
Oh,
me. You're suddenly confronted by something that is very anxious-inducing.
Yeah. I have nothing I
Yikes.
can.
I'd say
Yeah,
also
that-
you've got a
that's-
lot of is coming back all at once. You haven't flown for a month, and the last time you flew was during the war.
Yeah.
Now you're having to confront that all at once, and it's kind of almost enhanced. I'm going to say whatever it is, it's going to be at disadvantage.
Oh,
PTSD.
dang it. Okay. Oh, no!
Oh no.
So
Double hijinks! Oh,
That's
pray
so
for
bad.
me. Pray for me.
Praying.
hijinks, something goes terribly wrong. The narrator describes.
No! Oh no, never mind. It's disadvantage because remember you have your vice.
Yeah.
Remember you have your vice.
Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. Oh.
You wouldn't have been able to get it here because
No.
it was disadvantage in a hijinks, but keep that in mind.
No, it would still be an auto success.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Can I use it? I know
It's
I've
just
rolled.
you,
Can I...
it overrides everything. Like the roll you use is like a 4.
Oh god. Okay. I this may be not the smartest solution, but I'm too scared of a double hijinks. Can I please use my auto success?
Mm-hmm. That's what it's there
Thank you.
for. You feel yourself retch, and you know when you sort of there's a word for it. Boke. There you go. You boke. Like you vomit a little bit, but you hold it in the back of your throat, and it burns, and it's awful. But
Yeah.
you go, but you kind of keep it quiet and
Oh,
hold
my poor
back.
girl. My poor Pip.
Oh no.
This is like because the last thing I want to do is like throw up with a wolf nearby because like they've got a very they're wolves. They've got really good sense of smell. Like throwing up is quite a noisy thing. Even if you try and do it quietly, it's still a chance that he might hear me, and I don't want to. I'm not taking that risk.
Also, I have no idea if bats can vomit, so like, let's say they can for now.
Let's say
You've
that we're kind of-
developed
we're
the
playing a
vomit
little bit.
gene.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
we're playing with the Beast Fables lore. Anyway, sorry.
This continues. At one point, the wolf. You notice the frying pan, unlike a frying pan that you've seen in other places, it's shaped like a frying pan, but it's got a much larger grip. And the wolf bites down on the handle, which seems to be made of wood, and then flips whatever it is in the pan onto the other side. A lot of the water seems to have boiled away, so it's now just sort of like a thick sludge, and it flips over.
Wow.
Yikes. That's a big yikes. I think in a weird way,
Some
like,
of the sauce seems to have, I'm going to say some of the sauce got onto like its nose, and it kind of licks its paw and starts to sort of clean itself.
oh, that's like
Why doesn't it just lick the sauce off of its nose?
Mm.
You're a weirdo.
it probably would like yeah, what a freak.
He's a civilized fox, don't you know?
God, I know.
A
Right?
wolf.
Like
He takes out his handkerchief and dabs the corners of his mouth.
like I imagine that Pip is like watching all of this and like she's like repulsed by what she's watching, like genuinely sickened. But you know, she's also like it's one of those weird things, like, you know, something that scares you kind of also fascinates you. So like she's watching all this and she's like, you know, physically trying not to be sick, but she also like she can't look away because she doesn't know where else to look. I also think like actually the sounds of like the meat like slapping in the pan as like the wolf flips it over would also be kind of disgusting, and like she probably wouldn't like she'd rather know what she's looking at rather than kind of guessing. If that makes sense.
So what do you want to do?
But yeah. I think for the moment, I think she wants to wait just to see like. I think she's gonna wait to see if he falls asleep, because I imagine once he's eaten, he might sleep because it's late. He's eaten now. He won't need to go out and hunt. And then I think what she'd like to do, hopefully, is maybe just have a little snoop through his
Pip.
bags. I know.
For
This is such a bad idea, but like, I want to know what this wolf is about. Like, what is he doing? Who does he work for? Where is he
Flashback
getting?
to,
Where is he getting?
A couple hours ago, like, Pip, just be safe. Don't go near it. Just stay up high, up in the trees. Don't go near him.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
clearly. It's like
So
Pip lies. Sorry.
you are watching the wolf. You haven't moved, so I'm going to make you make a check.
Okay.
But for the next hour or so, after maybe another 5 minutes, the wolf takes the pan off the fire and just lets it sit on the ground. And you notice for the first time that the ground here has been cleared of all grass, and there are lots of claw marks, as if specifically the wolf has cleared the ground around here.
Weird. Okay.
And the fire is a collection of several stones that have been nudged together, and there's wood, logs burning slowly on it now. The light gets a little bit lower. After maybe a quarter of an hour, the wolf eats what's in the pan, licks it clean, picks it up, and then walks off again towards one of the rivers. Returns 10 minutes later. Its front paws are wet, and its muzzle is wet. And it puts the pan back onto the fire, and it hisses a little bit as drops of water on the wet pan drip onto the fire. It then splays out itself near the fire, drying its muzzle and paws. It's lying down. Maybe half an hour later, once it's dry, it grooms itself again, then goes over to one of the packs and takes out the tube which it kept its manuscript in.
Okay.
It takes out, it kind of has the tube in its mouth, it uses one paw to open the cap and then shakes all the papers inside out, and you see again that wooden tool that helps it sort of if it holds the tool with its paw, it can then push with its snout the papers in, and then it wraps the papers into a bundle that can easily get back into the tube again.
Okay.
Sort of like a curling folding device.
Yeah.
Like a corkscrew. And it starts to flip through the manuscript, has one paw on a corner, and then seems to be, with a single practiced claw, the same one it was punching into the paper with, it seems to be reading back over whatever it is that was in the manuscript. And you notice that as the fire gets very low and it's very difficult to see any details of the page, instead of reading, it seems to instead just run its claw over the indents on the page.
Oh, okay, so it really is like a sort of braille type language it's writing in. But also, like, where is a wolf learning to do this?
And as it's doing that, it's actively looking around the camp.
Okay. Oh, why? Why is he not going to sleep? I think Pip would sort of, she'll, sitting in the gorse bush where she is, she'd still be she would be having all these questions in her own head, like, what is this strange language that this wolf is writing in? How can it be reading it without, like, the firelight? How does this work? Where did, what was it eating? Where did it get that water skin from? She just have all of these, like, questions in her head that she's sort of thinking through, and she's trying to make sense of what she's looking at, but she's going, like, round in circles. She's like, I have no idea what is going on here at all. But something feels really weird about all of this. She's definitely, like, highly suspect and just, like, nervous now.
Maybe an hour later.
It feels all wrong. Sorry.
Maybe about an hour later, once the fire has burnt down to, say, like, dark red embers and it's not really giving off light anymore, and only you see now occasionally, like, the very, like, more like the silhouette of the wolf versus the actual, like, details of it, you hear that it puts the papers away into the tube, closes the tube back up, puts the tube in one of its larger bags, and then puts its cloak on the ground and curls up to sleep on the cloak.
So civilized. Okay, I think what Pip would do in this situation, I think she'd wait until she kind of heard that sort of telltale sort of heavy breathing of a creature that is asleep. And I think she'd start very, very quietly, very slowly start moving towards the wolf's bag. Not the wolf itself, because I think the bag is, like, a little bit further away from him. But I think she's going to try and I think she just wants to just have a little peek inside. Her night vision is pretty good for a bat, so she should, in theory, be able to see mostly where she's going. But, like, yeah, very quietly, very slowly, very cautiously moving towards this bag.
So
Can I just say, before the game, you were kind of saying how you want to make Pip, like, Pip's a bit of like a rogue.
Yeah.
This is such a rogue thing. I'm gonna sneak off
Absolutely.
on my own and go straight into the danger and nope. Anyway, sorry, Brian.
She's terrible. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, describe how you're sneaking up to determine what ability you're going to use, and are you going to tag anything?
Okay, I think what Pip is going to do is, like, before she moved off, she would sort of look at the bag where it is and start moving in the direction of the bag. But then I think what she would do is she would then focus her attention on the wolf. So she's sort of walking in the direction of the bag, like quite low to the ground. Like she's very, she's a small animal. Long-eared brown bats are very small. So she'll be like holding her, she'll be holding her wings, like as close to her body as she can make them. She'll be walking like a little T-Rex, basically, because obviously her arms and wings are so long. So she's making sure that they're not dragging on the floor. Her ears are up, her eyes are very open. She's using the keenest of her senses, which is her hearing. And but she will be moving, like, just like softly footing her way towards this bag, like deliberately, like if he's like cleared the space around him, like there shouldn't be any like crunchy leaves or twigs necessarily for her to walk on, but like she'll be like putting her foot down carefully each time she moves towards the bag.
So are you tagging any skills?
I think I can, if I can, I'm going to tag my orientate, so I can kind of keep an eye on the wolf, but I know that I'm sort of moving towards the bag because of the direction I started walking, if that makes sense.
I'll let you do that. And that'd be a cunning check for me. And because it's a wolf, it's going to be contested.
Oh!
Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh shit!
Oh no. But the wolf is like asleep though, isn't he? Does he not get disadvantage being asleep?
Unless
Come
he's
on.
lying.
Shit.
He's not asleep.
That's not fair.
You are crossing the clearing very slowly. You look towards the bag. You look back, and then there are two yellow glinting orbs illuminated by the very, very dull moonlight. I'm going to say it's like a sliver moon, but there's just a very slight gleam. I'm not going to even say two. It's just going to be one. There is one gleam looking at you. The wolf is breathing very normally. Nothing is moved. You are paused. What do you do?
Oh my god, what do I do? Why did you guys let me do this? This is a terrible idea.
We didn't. Right now we're in the like soup place and we're just discussing like what could possibly go wrong.
Oh,
I would like to say it's
everything.
been about 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh
You
man,
guys-
that's true actually. Yeah, we're
You
concerned.
might have probably just gone to bed.
I don't think Balthazar did. I think he put a little chair in front of the window in there where they're staying, and he's sitting there looking out, waiting to see Pip.
Okay.
Oh god.
Yeah.
See, I mean, this is a wolf, and like this is a European wolf. Even that compared to a like an inch tall bat is just gargantuan in size. Like there is no way I could fight this thing. There is no way I can defend myself. I'm caught out in the open with a fucking wolf looking at me, and I don't know what to do. I think the only thing that she could do is she would just. I don't think she's gonna move. I think she's just gonna stop and look at the wolf, meet its gaze, but not move. But she will be breathing. She will be breathing very fast, and her ears will be like she's in full like ready mode. And I think I know what she wants to do, but she's gonna wait to see what the wolf will do first.
Okay. I'd say make a cunning roll for me. To anticipate what
Hold
the
an
wolf is
action
going to
with
do.
sneak attack.
God.
You
What
can't
can I
sneak
do?
attack a thing that knows you're there. That's not the system.
I mean,
Oh God! Please, please, please! I had 2 successes. Please. Give me a
Anything you can
success.
tag, anything you can tag, anything you can tag.
please tag something, for the love of God. Unassuming
I
presence?
can read maps.
Unassuming
What
presence?
about your unassuming presence? You're not a threat. You're just a little baby.
That's not going to help you in assessing what the wolf is going to do next.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, can I?
Oh.
Okay, can I tag my good judge of character? Like she is
Ooh.
ready. Like she is ready and waiting, and she is reading the wolf's body language, because while he is a wolf and she's not met one before, animals all have a sense of body language, and that is what she is waiting for.
Yeah.
She is seeing how
You're
will
trying to
move.
look for any shift or movement. Okay, I'll let you have
Yes.
advantage.
You're looking for
Thank
the
you.
butt wiggles that cats do before they pounce.
Oh, don't say that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take.
So you
the
rolled
success.
a 7 and a 2, so we'll take the 7. You get a success. You do as well as you can. And that describes how successful you are. You see the muscles of the wolf tense a little.
Oh. Uh-oh. Tense like angry tense, or tense like I am about to spring up kind of tense?
It's very dark, and all you're seeing is more of a silhouette of a wolf. You can get like shade, but not detail. The wolf
Okay.
tenses.
Okay, but he's not like jumped up and tried to attack me yet.
Might be about
He
to.
might be about to.
Did
But I'm-
Dash disengage?
I know. I'm like.
What do you
that's the
do?
thing, is, like,
This is the wrong system. For
I
you.
know.
there
But
is
I'm
the
just
part. There is the
thinking.
part of me like, you know, there's a part of me that's like, do I react? Do I jump up in the air and fly away and risk the wolf reacting to that, or do I stay very still and then risk him attacking first? Like this is the conundrum that I am in.
I'm gonna
Just a
say
figment of your
you
imagination.
haven't given me a decisive thing you're doing.
Uh-oh.
The wolf pounces. Suddenly, the black mass of this wolf leaps forward
Oh.
towards you. Everything seems to take forever for it to start moving, and it seems to take even longer for your muscles to react. What do you do?
She's going to leap aside, use her wings, and propel herself forward with a bigger gust of air as she can get underneath them.
Okay. Describe what
Yeah.
that looks like for me.
So as the wolf, it will be like mid in the air. What Pip is going to do is she is going to lunge out either to the left or the right of where the wolf is jumping. It's not like there's no point leaping up because he could snap her out the air. She's leaping sideways, but she is going to use her wings to catch a gust of air and like push herself forward, like in the air, but like across the ground, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
like,
That
yeah.
sounds like a vigor check to me. You're kind of relying on your skills. And
my
Couldn't
god.
it be cunning? Because she's dodging out of the way. Right?
but you're not necessarily using your cunning to.
Yeah, like the physical act, I
You're
guess, is
not
vigorous.
Yeah.
using a tool.
Yeah.
You're not
No, you're
manipulating the
right.
wolf. You're not trying to like psych them.
No.
It feels much more physical, so it seems more like vigor
To
to see if you can flap fast enough. And I'm going to say the wolf
Advantage?
is going to roll. Oh, you're going to tag anything?
Could fly.
I mean, yeah, it's a skill though. I don't know if am I allowed to tag flight as a skill?
Yeah, I guess it's just,
Just you know,
wanted to do something.
like it's
I'd
I
say
don't-
in this situation specifically, I would allow you to tag it.
okay because she is using her wings. She's just not
Because
moving up.
it's not just that you can fly, it's that you have been flying for a very long time. It's a maneuver that you could do. It's not
Yeah.
like you're Balthazar with a bunch of like wax feather wings and you're flying towards the sun, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I like that it's like Balthazar, not Ludson, as the Icarus.
Oh God. Wait, hang on. Sorry, I think Oh, hang on. How did I? Oh no, that's fine. That's
So
fine.
you
fine. Okay,
rolled
I'll take
vigor
I'll take my
twice.
crit success.
You rolled a hijinks and a critical success. You do better than expected, and the narrative describes something to go in your favor. The wolf rolled a 4. The wolf pounces forward. You, having anticipated, seeing that it's tense, you dart to the side. I'm gonna know or say that the wolf pounces forward with its paws, and you know for sure the wolf was fast enough that if it had snapped with its massive fanged maw, it could have had you.
Yeah.
But as you dart to the side, you realise that it didn't.
Oh.
We have moved 1 second forward into the future. What do you do next?
Okay.
Everything is still in that strange, slow, and adrenaline-filled space.
So I imagine because Pip again she's a very light, very agile creature because that's what bats are. She sort of used this gust to propel her forwards away from the wolf, and I imagine that probably I don't know how many sort of feet away that would have taken her, but she would have sort of landed on the ground, skidded to a halt with the momentum, and then in the next thing she's going to do is she is just going to, with all like she will look back at the wolf, see where it landed, and she is just going to propel herself into the air as fast and as quickly as she can away from this beast. There is no point hanging around. I am not staying to find out what would happen if he tried to have a chat with me.
Okay. That's going to be a vigor check.
Oh, God!
It is going to try and kick dirt at you. It's going to use its back. Because I'm going to say you move sideways. So if I'm going to do a little drow in for you. So if we go over here, I'm going to click. You can see this is where the wolf started. This is where you were. The wolf has moved forward.
Yes.
You have moved to the side. It's now going to use its back legs to kick dirt at you as you try and lift off.
Okay. What can I... Is there anything I can tag? God, okay. I mean, I think that, I don't know if you would allow me to have this one, but like, can I tag my staying alert again? But this time because she is now in full, she's in full flight reflex. Everything is moving in slow motion, but her brain is moving like a mile a minute because she has gone into pure survival instincts now.
I'll let you make a vigor with that.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
So you rolled a critical success. It rolled a 4, and you also rolled a 4. So with a critical success, you notice that it's going to kick the dirt at you. You hold off, actually, on leaping into the air. You instead squat down. The dirt cloud with the bits of grit and stone fling past, kind of like around and over. And then in the cloud, you jump up and start to flap. The dust kind of like pushes away in different directions, and the wolf is temporarily kind of like blinded. Kind of the glints disappear as it squints against the dust, and you start to flap up into the air.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. I think before she flies away, I think she's gonna get a decent amount of height so that she's out of the reach of the wolf. But I think she wants to look back, because if he's kind of like slightly blinded, I think she's gonna sort of fly slightly kind of over his head behind him and just see what he does. Like, how does he react now that she's like out of view, basically.
When you say behind his head, you don't mean like literally down.
Oh, no,
next to him,
sorry. I mean literally like flying out of his field of vision. So like up and away behind him, but not like right behind him.
Okay. He's going to try and listen to where you are. So I'm going to roll for him, but you don't know this is what he's doing. This is just me rolling and have the results public. If I can find his character sheet, which I literally just had up. There it is.
Ooh.
Complication. You fly up and you think you're out of his range of sight. You think you're high enough up. He spins suddenly and leaps towards you. Growling.
No.
Like you hear, the only warning you have is like a, and then suddenly you feel it, the push of the air of this massive wave of something coming towards you. How do you try to dodge? He's leaping with his mouth open, fang gleaming.
Is he? So I take it that he's leaping up towards me. Right, she's gonna fly down away from him, like towards the ground, and she's gonna try and, like, you know how have you ever seen a bird like fly down to get momentum,
Swoop.
and then soar back up again because they have the momentum carries them forward. So that's what she's
Okay.
going to try and do. She's going to dive down for momentum and then fly upwards away from him. Like basically, basically what she's going to try and do is fly in between his front legs and then out, and way the other
So I'm going to
side.
say make a cunning check at advantage.
Yes.
No, advantage. I'm just going to say make a cunning check. I don't know why you have advantage.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. I wish.
But it's not a vigor, it's a cunning. Yeah.
Okay.
And he is going to make a vigor check.
Please don't beat a 5. Oh, thank God.
So this plays into the complication I already had imagined. Essentially, you fly, you just drop. Like you close your wings, like fuck, drop, and then flap around the ground. You fly directly away from where he leaped from. As in, like you fly towards where he leaped from, you fly away, and you don't look back. You're too terrified. All you hear is like a clanging and a ring as you realize he's crashed into the fire pit and onto the frying pan and is now rolling through the dirt.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna say at this point your bat instincts take over and you just fly.
Yeah. She's not looking back. She doesn't need to know what happened to the wolf. She is now like she is terrified and she is going straight back to Lunson and Balthazar.
Oh my god.
I learned nothing aside from this is not a friendly wolf.
But
Well, in all
the fighter pilot.
fairness, you invaded its camp.
I did invade his camp, but I had to know like what is he about? But like this is, the only thing that like she would be thinking of is like she would still have that idea of like he is up to something. What, you know, he is a claw licker. He is here to eat. He's a
claw licker? No, he himself is the claw.
Well, like, sorry, yeah, you're right. Like, he's like a he's a beast who eats beasts, and he's scoping out Aspen Grace, and she doesn't know why, and she doesn't like it at all.
I'd just like to say you wouldn't know the word or the term claw licker,
Sorry, yeah, that's true.
which is fine. Like, yeah, words, beasts.
Worthless,
no.
but yes.
But like,
No.
it's very important. If you were to call him a claw licker, that'd be a very important thing.
Yeah, sorry, no, she wouldn't say that, but like she would be like this is a beast eater. This is something that will, like, he is not fucking about. He is here for something, and it, you know, she learnt that, but like she is not prepared to go and learn anymore.
So you fly
I'm
away
scared.
as fast as you can. I'm just gonna say make a vigor check. This is endurance. Or maybe willpower. Vigor or willpower. What's driving you more? Are you trying to rely on your muscles of flight and your endurance as being a messenger? Or are you relying on the fear of not being eaten? Or the fear of being eaten? You're like, ah!
I think in the initial it would have been like that first like few moments it would have been completely fear, but then the kind of like the muscle memory would kick in of like this, you know, like he can't get me now. Like I'm in the air. I'm going back to my friends, to the beasts I care about. I don't have time to be scared. I don't have time to be tired. I just need to get somewhere safe. So like that,
Okay.
like that. I think that would be like more of a willpower than a vigor, even though they're both D6, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, make a willpower check for me then.
Oh, thank God! Thank God!
You are flying not as fast as you can, but as steadily as you can. You're trying to calm your breathing, get the shakiness out of your wings, and you see in the distance the glint of light, of warm light, slowly expanding back into the shape of Aspen Grace. Because you're suspicious, because your heart is racing, I want you to make a cunning check for me.
Oh, you know, like I kind of love that I get to do these cunning checks. Please, God damn it! Not when I get a hijinks though.
Something that you had not expected happens.
Oh no, that's not
Oh.
good.
And something whistles past you.
Something. What? What
It
kind
just-
of thing? Please don't be an owl. Please don't be an owl. Please don't be an owl, Brian.
And then suddenly you feel something wrap around you, and you are spinning very quickly. Because you hear it again, and then suddenly something's wrapped around you, and you are spinning very, very quickly in the air, and you're very disorientated. And then you feel it's like you've slammed into a tree branch, like just this smack, and you realize that you've fallen. You take a vigor damage.
Oh my gosh, I think I know what this is.
Is this guy throwing something at you?
I feel it's like
Did the
town
wolf
guard. I think it's like
follow?
town guard
Oh,
or
maybe.
something. I don't know.
You are roughly here.
Or bounty hunters.
Oh God! Please don't be bounty hunters.
I don't know.
And-
We've got anything to.
We'll probably find out.
Yeah. So you are on the ground. You kind of the dizziness clears a little bit. You realize that something is wrapped and tied around you.
Jesus.
What do you do?
Oh my God. Oh, I need to save my little girl. What am I gonna do? I think she just is it like a rope or like a something like that wrapped around me?
You wiggle against it, and it seems to be wrapped really tightly. You kind of look. You can't really see because it's very dark. And the light of Aspen Grace is close enough that it's actually almost blinding you a little bit. It's kind of ruining your night sight, the contrast. Yeah. And you wiggle, and I'd say make a vigor check for me to see if you can start to get it loose.
Yeah, she's just gonna start wriggling really hard. Oh God, I only have a D4. No!
Ah, no, God.
You rolled a hijinks. Something goes terribly wrong.
Brian.
You wriggle and push and shove as best you can, and roll down a slope of a hill.
Oh my God.
And kind of fall against a rock. It hurts, but it's not enough to take damage. You seem to be even more tangled up in whatever it is that has wrapped around you. And
oh my God.
you look up the hill and you see the silhouette of a beast coming towards you.
No.
Oh, how big?
It gets bigger, and it gets bigger. It's big.
Oh my God.
What do you do?
I don't. How? Okay, so hang on. Where is Roll20? So I've forgotten how to do the pingy thing. How do I ping?
Just press
Hold,
right click. Just kind of keep it pressed.
Yeah, but you've got to keep it on the select move tool.
Ah, okay, sorry.
In fact, I'm going to move your green dot to show where you are, if I can get it to...
Okay, I don't know how to... I'm not doing the thing properly. Oh, there we go.
That was me.
I can't move it if it's really small, so I'm just going to make it bigger. You're there.
So, like, I'm there, okay. If I yelled, would anyone hear me?
You don't know.
In Aspen Grace?
It's quite far away, still.
Damn it.
It's close enough that, like, the light is a little blinding and is creating this sort of silhouette. If you yelled, you don't know. Like, if a human yelled, then sure. If a wolf howled, then people in Aspen Grace would hear it. But you're a bat.
Yeah.
And
I'm
also, we've established that you're quite soft-spoken to begin with.
Yeah, they're called long-eared brown bats are called whispering bats for a reason.
Echolocate in that direction.
I think
honestly,
that is the only thing I can think to do. I think she is just going to kind of, to the best of her ability, point her face in the direction of Aspen Grace, and she is going to echolocate and just pray to the moon above that there is an animal in earshot that could pick up on something like that, because like it is possible that perhaps a rat or another small rodent creature might pick up on that if she's incredibly lucky. Which clearly I am not.
Okay. So I'm gonna describe what do you yell, and how do you yell it?
So echolocation is very weird because obviously it's like it is like an audible thing that bats do, but it's such a high pitched sound that it bounces off a lot of surfaces. So I think what she's hoping is that the sound, because it is so high pitched, and if she yells it in the right direction, will be it won't bounce off too much before it gets to Aspen Grace. And I think all she is going to yell is just help. And
Make a cunning roll because you're trying to direct the way that you yell.
Yeah. I don't think I can tag anything aside. I don't think I can tag anything for this for an advantage. No, okay, it's gonna have to be a straight roll. Oh God!
This music as well is very...
Oh God, come on! Why am I rolling so badly? This is so not good.
You look around to try and orientate where you're going to yell. You let out the start of like a help before you realize whatever this creature is, this beast, it is moved silently up towards you, and then you feel a paw just... hush. We don't want to do that right now, do we?
Oh! How big is the paw?
And it is big. It covers you. Not entirely, but it's big enough that it's... I mean, like, imagine Andre the Giant, you know?
Yeah.
Like, big. It's soft. And it just sort of covers your mouth and kind of part of your chest as well. And she goes, You want to be a bit quiet now, don't you?
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
and
die.
And then the paw lifts back a little. You see the silhouette, rounded, face, furred, and two round ears, kind of ear-shaped bobbing at the top.
It's that stupid polecat from earlier, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's much bigger than a polecat.
What?
Oh my God! Is it?
Well,
please
not
tell me
much bigger.
It's not a pine marten.
It's a wallaby from the Forbidden Island.
No. You only have seen a creature move this quietly before, in Odoak once. You're pretty sure now that your mind has come together, this is a wildcat. Or a forest cat.
Oh, no.
You'd know it as a forest cat. We know, as humans, know of them as wildcats because they live in the wild, but everything is wild, so it's a forest cat, if that makes sense.
Forest cat, yeah.
Scottish forest cat.
Oh, this is bad news, bears.
So it's lifted the paw off of you. What do you do?
Oh, God. I think she'll look up into its face, and she'll sort of, I think she'll look terrified, like, regardless of whether or not she tried not to, she would be terrified. I think she just would ask, like, what do you want with me?
I want to know what you were doing with that wolf.
Oh dear, do I play dumb or not? I think she'd probably size up this wildcat and say, I don't trust him.
Oh. See, it was rather suspicious of you to go and meet with him on the outside of town. You know, if you don't trust a beast, you don't go and have a nice conversation with them. Especially one the size of a windmill. What are you really doing with that wolf?
Oh, God. I think she would... Again, she's going to be really... She's really sort of picking her words very carefully. I think she'd say... I didn't think it would be safe to leave that wolf at the outskirts of town. But he was not attacking. So we took a chance to speak with him. But I don't trust him.
The paw reaches forward. You see the shape of it, and then you feel something much finer and sharper just rest against the side of your head.
Oh!
no.
And the cat says, "Oh no, don't lie to me.
Oh,
No
God.
bat, no toad, no rat would ever willingly go towards a wolf or a boar or a bear.
This pocket
You're
underestimates
colluding
how
with them.
stupid we are.
And
Oh
you
my God.
will tell me what you have planned."
Ugh. I think Pip feeling that claw against her head, it's actually kind of like the fear is now kind of turning into like almost like a righteous anger. She's sort of, the eyes narrow and like she shouldn't bare her teeth, but like she kind of grits them and speaks through them and says like, "We have no business with this wolf. I don't trust it. I am not working for it. I don't know who he is working for, but it certainly is no one trustworthy." I also don't like the fact that this cat knows about
you're trying to persuade this cat of your position.
Yeah.
So describe like what's the emotion you're putting into this?
So
What tact are you taking to convincing this cat?
So she's trying not to let her voice shake too much. She's scared, but she's trying not to let that sing through. She's kind of her body is tense, but she's using her softly spoken voice. She's not rising to the bait of this cat, but she is almost imploringly trying to reason with it. Like, it's not, she's not begging, but she's not going to give in. She's not going to say like, "Oh, you caught me," just to figure out what he's doing. Like, this cat is wrong, and she's going to do anything she can to prove otherwise. And if I have to tag my unassuming presence again, because she's trying not to be threatening, but she's also trying to make a point. Does that make sense?
I'd say make a vigor check because you're trying to be logical and consistent and methodical about this.
Yes.
And you have advantage because of your unassuming presence.
Thank you. Oh, come on.
Oh.
Okay, so you roll 2 3s, which is complication. You barely managed to pull it off, but not without consequence. The cat sits back on its haunches, and the silhouette raises a paw to its head and seems to sort of rest it on its neck. And it leans forward again, cocks its head, and then kind of steps to the side, and some of the light of Aspen Grace very gently lights you up a little bit. It leans in and goes, "Ah, an oak leaf. Where are you from? Who are you?"
I think she'd swallow and say, "My name is Pipistrelle. I'm a moon messenger from Odoak." I don't think
Have you
there's
got a
any point lying to
crest?
this cat. She nods and she kind of gestures with her head to her backpack and says, "In there is my crest. You can see for yourself."
The cat flips you over, and then sort of roughly drags the bag out and then sort of opens it, finds the crest, holds it up, and you see it glint in the light, and goes, "All right. I'm gonna untie you, but if you fly off before I'm done with you, you'll regret it."
She nods.
And the cat puts the token back in your bag and then buttons it back up and then places it gently to the side and then props you against the rock and then unravels, as you see now, the large bowler that it used to take you out of the air. It's 2 large, smooth rocks with a thick rope piercing through them, so that when it's flown, it kind of whistles through the air and then it wraps around something that it touches.
Oh.
And it unwraps the bowler from around you. And as it's unwrapping it, it's coiling it back up and then puts it onto its waist. And it turns a bit so that you can see more of it. It's wearing armor.
Ooh.
It has a rounded. A lot of it, the fur puffs out so that it looks very round, but its eyes have a very. Because you read people. I want to make you. I want you to make a cunning check to see what kind of read you get from this.
Okay. Can I tag my shrewd gaze? Because while the cat is kind of not 100% focused on her, she kind of is going to try and take in as much of his or hers or their character as possible.
I'd say yes. So make a cunning with advantage.
Thank you. Come on, game!
So you rolled a 3, a complication. You're looking at you're distracted by all the various tools rather than the cat itself. It's very that you don't know what this cat energy-wise is giving off, but you notice that it has on its back, slung over one shoulder, is a short bow. It's got a quiver poking out from behind it, tied onto sort of some kind of like belt or something like that. It has 2 other bowlers, a rope kind of wrapped around the other shoulder, almost, kind of quite tightly, and it has a large breastplate made of a material, maybe bark.
Wow.
It's quite smooth and scraped, and the cat, you do notice there are occasional divots in the fur where the fur itself doesn't quite seem to match or lie flat like a regular pelt. You've only ever seen this on the very oldest of messengers and creatures. These are scars where there's a scar tissue underneath the fur, and so the fur doesn't quite match and flow underneath. The cat's covered in scars.
God, who does this cat work for? Is he still kind of like busy and kind of sort of like what is the cat doing right now? Is he still kind of like unpacking
stuff? So the cat takes the bowler off. This is as you're taking the bowler off. The cat fully takes it off and frees you, and then ties the bowler onto a hook on its belt, a metal hook. Sits back on its haunches, and then without looking away from you, goes to its back pouch, draws forth a small thin tube made of wood, uncorks it, and then takes out a roll of parchment.
Oh.
And then, holding it up, asks, "Can you read?"
She'd look a bit confused at that, but she'd nod.
Good. I've met messengers before who've taken messages, but not read them. And he hands over the parchment to you. And he kind of watches you.
I think she'd take the parchment, not breaking the gaze of the cat. But once she had it in her hands, I think she would look down to read it. Kind of nervously though. I don't think she's 100% happy about having to take her eyes off the cat.
Okay, make a cunning roll for me to see how much information you can take in with like little glances.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Now I get it.
Okay, so an 8. You are pretty good at scanning details from documents. Before you were working in the war, or at the very beginning of the war, you were mostly delivering local messages to Odok, so you're good at looking at manifests quickly. You scan the letter. It is a contract from Fangwatch, a keep that is to the north of Odok. Fangwatch, as you know, because you've lived in Odok, is the main, before the war, the main outer defense of Odok and that part of the Bristley Woods. There are many different beasts there, and their job is to divert large behemoths from approaching that area of the forest and to head them off.
Oh.
This is a contract with a license to kill for a wolf.
Oh my.
Oh.
It's sealed with an oak leaf. So this is from Odok, or approved by Fangwatch. You know this is official.
Yeah.
And it details reports of a wolf outside Aspen Grace, and the hired forest cat You kind of also catch the loose description. You can't really tell, but with what you can see of the cat now, because it's dark, but it describes the cat as Linefinder Flynn
Line finder. Okay.
of the Tanners.
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Describes it as a forest cat with ginger brown fur. And that's all. I'll say that gives a couple of details, like the color of Flynn's eyes.
Yeah.
And it is a he.
He. Okay. He. Good to know.
And
Can I just ask just a quick world building question? Would Pip have ever heard the term Tanner before?
We talked about this, right? Only outrageous rumors.
Yeah, so she's heard about them, but only in like
in the same way that I've heard of Navy SEALs. I know that they fight people.
Yeah.
Like, you know that Tanners fight beasts. They specifically fight beasts. But there are all sorts of creatures that fight beasts, and you've just come out of a war where they fought boars entirely, so you've heard of them, but you haven't ever really encountered them before, or know of them.
I think she would be a little bit. I think she would slightly fixate on that word, Tanner, and then she'd sort of. I think she'd look back at him. Sorry, what was his name again?
Flynn.
Flynn.
Linefinder.
Flynn. Okay, I think she would look back at Flynn, and I think she'd sort of, almost in spite of herself, there might be just a very slight crooked half smile and say, well, clearly I was onto something.
And the cat seems a little startled by this and goes, onto something?
Well,
Care
and
to elaborate?
She gestures at the letter and says, "You're a Tanner. You've been sent with an order to kill. I didn't trust this wolf. I didn't know why. I just had a..." And she kind of gestures a little bit with her hands. She's sort of like a bad feeling.
The cat reaches its paw out to the scroll, which actually, as you now realise, it is actually quite small. It was holding it with the tips of its claws, not its paw. And it reaches out with the claw and it simply taps on one section of the contract. And it says, license. I don't have to. I've simply been sent to deal with this wolf. Seems to be making a lot of folks nervous. Now my question is, if you don't know this wolf or you're not associated with it, why would you just walk up to it? See, I don't know you. That is rather suspicious. You don't think this wolf is doing anything right. Well, I don't think anyone would think a wolf would do anything right. So, if you're not with the wolf, I could surmise that you're against it.
She would nod at that assessment.
All right then. Well, I'm going to deputize you. Clearly this wolf, you're in its confidence. You're going to help me poison it.
Oh my god!
Think with that, unless you think there's anything else this scene could involve,
I think that's
a perfect.
That's the cliffhanger.
Oh my god!
I need to pee so badly. The drama, the tension, the music. Brian, I've been on the edge of my seat for the last hour.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I just want to say I'm sorry for my pterodactyl screech, but Tanners, hell yeah! I love the Tanners. I called it in the chat.
Oh my god! I am sweating right now.
What the hell? And you, as soon as you something hit you, it's like that's like the rap tie thing, like the bolo. It's like, oh, but who is it? I love it.
Oh my god.
Yes, you don't know it because you've never seen the material, but that is a leather breastplate.
Oh, okay, so it is leather. Because when you were when you said, "Oh, it has armor," I'm just like, "Oh, fuck,
Yeah,
it's probably
yeah.
leather." And then in the chat, I was just when you said, "Oh, it's bark," I'm just like, "Oh, so it's probably not a tanner, because because they were leather." And then Fraser very pointedly said, "I mean, does Pip know what leather is? Could appear like bark."
Pip will have never. She would have never seen leather.
Accursed material.
Exactly. Like
Oh.
she won't recognize like any of the markings that this cat would have. Like she's only heard rumors, like stories, like bedtime stories about tanners. Oh my god!
I really want the rest of us to meet him too.
Yep. That music honestly was adding 10, 20 million layers to that.
I genuinely thought that cat was going to kill me.
I thought so as well.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be like a nice snack.
Yeah, either he's like a hunter, like either he's working for the wolf, or like going to kill me because like because he thinks I'm in leagues with it. Like I was like, I am. Not only did I survive that, I also got deputized.
Oh,
Congratulations, Pip.
I know.
That is the most Pip thing I think I've ever
very much
experienced.
See, when you had 2 hijinkses in a complication in a row, and I thought that was it. I thought Brian was like, okay, first chance, second chance.
Yeah, I was
third
like,
chance and you're out.
Same. I thought this was basically the DOAD equivalent of death saves. Like,
Literally.
No. I wouldn't do something like that. I would not be like, okay, and this is the part where you're gonna die. I always have
I feel it's a
plans
good
and
DM
plans and
ethos
plans, my
of
friends.
Always fail forward.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was honestly like I'm sorry that so much of this episode has been focused on like Pip and her just
no,
general shenanigans, but
not
like
at all.
oh,
I feel like we needed a Pip
Reverie
episode.
of
We haven't
bad
had a Pip
decisions.
focus for a while.
that's
Yeah,
true.
we did that.
Oh, I don't know. That's really cool and really scary. But like I knew that wolf was sus as fuck.
Well, no, here's the thing. Okay, no, I'm still for the wolf. That wolf is out here. He's writing his book. He's having a nice meal. He could have gone out and snapped up anyone he wanted. No, he has provisions. He's polite. He's just writing a book. This guy, okay, Flynn, he got a contract to like, because
Deal with him.
It's a behemoth. Yeah, okay, it's stressful. But this wolf is just hanging. I don't think he's sus at all. I think he's just a wolf, and he's just like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm a wolf. I'm gonna go write my book.
Yeah, we still don't know.
I still believe in the wolf, and Balthazar does too.
Fair enough. I cannot take that away from you, though.
Oh my gosh.
That was very intense, though. Oh my. I need like. Oh god, I need something to steady my nerves once we're done with today's episode. Oh my goodness.
I think the last thing we're going to do.
Whiskey.
Last thing we're going to do is have a little review of this scene with the fortune. This is a perfect opportunity for Fraser to dart away for a minute while I start with an Atlanta.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just the sound of like rapid running.
Rapid running.
Well, what were our things?
So today's fortune, or this scene's fortune, which spanned the last 2 games, is palms gilded by the blood of beasts.
That's the Tanners.
And the theme is sacrifice.
Oh, that's what the wolf is writing about.
Sacrifice is the balance of, my memory is going gooey, greed and generosity. Or charity. Greed and charity.
I think Balthazar was charitable because he's like, well, this wolf is just doing his book, and just because he's a wolf doesn't mean that he's evil.
True.
Mm-hmm. I
was
definitely
very
think Balthazar has
charitable.
been very charitable, especially with giving like the cider, which you were like, oh, this is really precious, but also I know that it'll mean a lot to these hares because we were given it by a hare and it's from their homeland. So I definitely think that you have been acting with virtue. So I would peg.
Some part of me wants to, because I wasn't sure if we're wrapping up the scene now or no, but I was wondering if we'd ever get to go back and like try to hear the help, if I could use my vice just for Balthy Sixth's protection sense of Pip to to auto succeed and realizing that she's in trouble. But I don't know. That's very contrived.
We're ending the scene
Especially on
here.
the cusp of so.
Sometimes a scene doesn't use
go back to it.
Sometimes a scene doesn't use everyone, which is okay. We're going to be having lots of fun group, interesting connivings with this line finder Flynn. But do you think you want to move to virtuous, or do you think you want to move to neutral? Because essentially, leaving Willowmoot, you had Vice as your again, words failing me. Bearing. There you go.
Bearing.
Your direction, your character's bearing was Vice. You were all about action. You faced the Pine Marten. You were like, just direct action. Dealing with it is the best way to go forward. And now you're kind of back with a community again. You're seeing people working together. Do you think that Balthazar is more neutral and weighing his options, or do you think he is virtue and about helping others again?
With a 1d4 in cunning, I don't think he'll ever get to be neutral in weighing his options. He's either do or don't do. Like, I think he's going straight into virtue.
Okay, I'm going to write virtue as your bearing. And Pipistrelle, how do you think that you acted the last couple sessions?
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Maybe actually I want neutral, because he will want... This is for my own benefit. He will want confirmation if this damn wolf is a knight. I will take neutral. I will take neutral to ask my question. I've never had neutral.
Just be aware that neutral is about the consequences of an action.
I know. This is true. Yeah, but I already committed to it. Let's go with neutral, and that's the charity, right? Of stepping away and letting others be themselves, and then see what that means for you.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna regret this next session.
Who knows? Maybe it will come back and it'll actually be like a really good decision that you made.
So,
Find out.
Pipistrelle. How do you think you
Oh,
acted?
Vice, all the way. Just there is no long or short about it. Like
Greedy.
Yep, I decided to go on a stupid death mission on a whim. I did not think about my friends. I was entirely thinking about what Pip wanted and she was so consumed with curiosity in her typical silly little sus Pip way that she put herself in harm's way to find out whether or not she was right. I still think she was in a way, but I guess we will find out.
And last but not least, Lutzen. How do you think you acted?
I think Lutzen's either staying in neutral or gone to virtue, having kind of tried to kind of be quite consoling and like consoling of Balthazar and his nerves of being away, or with Pip being away. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. He's definitely been trying to like assess the situation. He's not really been acting spontaneously and like in the moment. He's definitely been trying to like take in the information and try and figure out what's going on. So either neutral or virtue, I think.
Okay, your choice.
Let's go for virtue. I think that makes sense.
Get a nice spread.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think virtue.
Okay. Well, while I very slowly draw this out, I think we should wrap up by reintroducing ourselves. Starting with Lutzen, because I'm drawing out your virtue. Please tell us who you are, how you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and why you're a thing. I'm going to change the music to something a little less aggressive.
A lot of questions.
Fraser, fine, and this, and no. So, hi guys, I am Fraser. I've been playing Lutzen Ten Whiskers during all this. I am an illustrator, arty person of sorts who works with Brian frequently on creating artwork and little miniatures for tabletop games. You can find me on Instagram at _lostastronaut and on Twitter _lostastronaut. And yeah, thank you for this intense, stressful, stress-inducing game. It was great, but oh my god,
it was fun.
I need to go lie down.
It was fun.
It was very fun. I need to go and lie down, and I wasn't even the one like playing really.
Ugh.
Next up, we have Ver.
I have been Ver. You can find me online on Twitter under Verface. On Patreon, should you like to support my ongoing adventures in art. Also under Verface. You can also find me on Tumblr under Sticks and Sharks. And boy howdy, I have been so stressed this game. And I'm just honestly really excited for Tanners. Like, as my stream might have indicated, I love the Tanners, as grim of a bunch as they are, and I'm excited to see Deputy Tanner Pip and what she does. I just hope we get to join her, because I want in on this wolf conundrum here, and I'm very curious where it will take us.
Oh, I know, right?
And speaking of the star of today's show, Pip, Atlanta, do you want to say hello?
Oh, hello. I am I'm a puddle of mud on the floor, oozing and bubbling away in contempt.
Content.
Because I'm like all of my fear is gone. I'm left with like, oh god,
Seething mud.
seething mud.
Seething mud.
Yes, today I am a seething pile of mud. But I've also been playing Pipistrelle. I am also an illustratory type person. I did today's thumbnail. If any of you saw that, I don't know if any of you were there right at the beginning. But yeah, thank you for a very Pip-centered episode. This was really I jest, but like this was really fun. Like there was so much to this whole wolf mystery, and I was very happy and intrigued to see where it would go, and I am very, very excited to see where we're going to go next week. It is I say this every week, but I swear each episode I'm like, oh, I can't wait for next week. Like every time. But yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Fraser, particularly to you two, just for being so patient, because obviously that was a lot of like you listening to me talk.
Oh, I
and
loved
stuff.
it though.
No, I'm fully
Always
invested.
a delight to hear you talk, and it's always a delight to follow Pip Adventures.
Oh,
Always.
I think it was really nice to have that sort of like very, very tense, and then soup, and then very, very tense.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
was
great.
I was looking at the clock, and we were getting close to like 2:30, and I thought, oh, we don't have the time to do another like soup, like Lutzen tuck, or like Balthazar tucking Lutzen in and having some nice soft when like Flynn catches you. And then we're going to go to Balthazar and Lutzen. You guys have no idea what's going on. How's everything happening? And then come back to like the interrogation. I would have loved to have done that, but didn't quite have time. But I would have.
That would have been really funny.
And speaking of me, I'm Brian. I use he/him pronouns. I've been your narrator for today. I run Dungeons on a Dime, which is a tabletop role-playing game publishing imprint. I make stuff. I get people to illustrate it, like all of my fine friends here. And you can buy it. My book, In the Red, comes out into all bookstores across the world from tomorrow. It's currently available in America already, so you can just go buy it, but you can pre-order it or look at it and stroke your screen longingly and be like, I want it. Also, I have a Kickstarter running, Vice and Virtue, for the system we were just using. Adventures on a Dime is free. That was the kind of the cunning, willpower, and vigor stuff we were doing, but that's sort of the fortunes, the storytelling, the prompts I've been using. A lot of the story beats behind all of that came from Vice and Virtue, and it is already over 200% funded. Every 10 backers we get unlocks a community copy, which will be a full digital copy that anyone can just come and grab for people who are having a tough time, especially with second lockdown coming to the UK. And every 100 backers, I give away a full physical copy with the brand new stretch goal funded gilded deck of 7 theme cards with gold foiling on. If we get to £3,000, then I will also be able to fairly and properly pay, not just like the bad rate that you normally get for writing jobs, but like proper full living wage pay guest authors to come and do work on the book with me as well, which would be really awesome. We're actually currently at £2,000 and almost £500. Just £500 more, we can get some cool indie authors to come in and work on this. Vice and Virtue is a really fun system. You can download the rules for free from my website and just have a read of what it's like and see all of the really cool things that we do. Thank you guys so much.
It's a really fun system. Everyone should play it.
Yes, agreed.
Everyone, do it.
Do the thing. Sorry, Brian.
So it has been really fun being with all of you today. I have loved today's game. You can check out more details about the Bristley Woods with the link in the description. See where everyone's going, where the Blueberry Pond is, look up on all the guilds, maybe even read a little bit about who the Tanners are. We will catch you next week on a Wednesday. It'll be fun. We'll see you then. But that's bye from us for now.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, we're off.